Welcome to Rack of the Week number 97. This is going to be a quick one. There's not a lot of strategy here. I'm just trying to make a shot pretty much all the way through the rack. Before we get into it, I want to thank my patrons. I'm new to Patreon. Check it out if you would please. We're doing some fun stuff and you get insights into my training routine and the crazy things going on in my head as I try to run 200 balls. And thank you to my YouTube members as well. So check that out, and let's not waste any time, and let's get into the rack. I've got a pretty standard break shot here. It's a slight angle, but this is just a stun into the side of the rack and trying to bring the cue ball right back up to center table. And you look at the results. Yeah, the cue ball came a little farther than I wanted, but not a big deal. Not a great result, and why is that? I didn't hit that soft. I hit it pretty hard. And you did see there was the typical one ball from the bottom row went to the bottom rail and straight back up, but it didn't re-break the rack very much. And so why is that? And my guess is I didn't rack it very tight. There was probably at least one gap in the rack, if not two or three. And that is death when it comes to trying to separate the balls, as you can see. I think that's what's probably happened. Even though I had a bit of a shallow angle, there still should be a few more balls open. So what am I going to do? There's no rack analysis, and there's only one shot, the 6-ball. So I come around and take a look, and what am I going to shoot next? I have one choice, 5 in the side. I pretty much just want to stop the cue ball. If it drifts forward a tad, I'm okay. I pretty much want to stop it because that's a healthy angle from there to cut the 5 in the side, and my cue ball should open up some balls with this 5-ball. Now, you don't generally want to hit a ball that you're cutting this much into the side pocket. I don't have a choice. This is what I got, and I know from experience I don't want to draw this ball, I don't think. I want to put a follow stroke on it. No telling where the balls are going to go. This is just a re-break. Watch the 5-ball bobble in the pocket. I mean, that's what's going to happen at that angle. There's not much else you can do. But the balls didn't open very well. Why not? Again, the balls didn't open very well. Let's go take a quick look. Let's back up one more. Why didn't they open? I bet I could have done a better job. And here's why. You should take a closer look. So I just expected my cue ball to hit this 15, then hit the 7, maybe go straight or maybe go this way, and that should open up at least 3 or 4 balls and maybe balls here. That's what I was expecting. But what actually happened? And maybe I'll try and replay that in slow motion, but what you're going to see is that the cue ball hit the 15 pretty full. And so that only moved 1 or 2 balls, and the cue ball snuck through these balls to the side rail, and the cue ball didn't touch any other balls. So when you're going to do a re-break, especially when you're going into a pocket like this, it's worthwhile to take a look and see if you can predict just which side of which ball the cue ball is going to hit and which direction it's is going to go. Because if I could have predicted it, I might have shot low on the cue ball instead of high, because low might have brought the cue ball to the low side of the 15 and then in this direction, and I might have gotten more action opening up that rack. Anyway, what am I going to do now? I have one shot to choose from again. There's no rack analysis. Now, the 4-ball does not pass over here. There's no shots. I'm trying to think about how to cut this 11 either in the side and come up this way, or in the corner and come this way and play for it. There's no shot to play for. So I decide to go for it, and I'm just going to shoot a straight high ball and try to bring my cue ball right back down into here. I'm kind of hoping it hits the 9 because then I'm least likely to scratch, but this is a bit of a Hail Mary, but I'm not going to miss, and I don't think I'm going to scratch. So let's go for it. All right, that's not a bad result. Oh, I almost have a shot on the 3, but I don't have a shot on the 3 or on the 8. Once again, there's no rack analysis. 3-ball, I got to play the 4-3 combination. It looks to me like I can just barely see enough. Now, I think of the 4 in order to make this combination, and I think what I should have done is just stop the cue ball, because it would have knocked the 12 up here and I would have had a shot on the 8. But I thought the 4 was going to stay here, and so I let the cue ball go forward, and instead the 4-ball went up here. But, you know, that was a low percentage combination. I'm very happy to have even made it. I don't have a shot on either of these stripes up in this corner. I still have only one shot. Actually, I have two shots, and I've looked at it right there. I do have a shot on this 12 in the side, and I am dead straight on that ball. So from the rail, from shooting over the rail, I would have to just kind of lag the 12 softly into the side and hope that the cue ball stopped in this vicinity to have a shot on either the 15 or the 8, probably in this side pocket. I prefer this 4 ball, even though the position of the cue ball is more questionable. And it might look easier than it really is on the video. This is a back cut. And I even if I put left English, I cannot get my cue ball up to the top rail. And so I'm going to hit this ball mighty thin. My cue ball is going to hit this side rail up here. And that's a reverse angle. It's not running English, it's reverse English. So it's going to shorten off from this rail, and I really don't know where it's going to go, but we got to make this ball and see if something can happen. And what happens? Well, I tied these balls up, and once again, I have one shot. Or do I? So I took a look. The 7-12 can be thrown in, but I'd rather not. So what I just looked at, if you saw me measure, was I looked at the shot line for the 8 ball. And I'm picking this spot. Let's go ahead and mark it. Let's be generous and give myself a pretty big zone. This is what I want. I want this angle on the 8 to send the cue ball into these balls and hopefully, finally get something open. So that's my, just like when you're setting up for the key ball and the break shot, point your cue on the table. Don't leave a mark, but point your cue on the table where you want to go. Oh, and I took my point away. I think it was here, and so I passed it up just a little bit, but I still have a very reasonable angle. Once again, where is the cue ball going to go? We got to try and make a prediction. I'm probably hitting this 11 pretty full. I would like to hit it full enough that my cue ball goes through it and maybe this way and knocks these balls open, but I really don't know. I don't want to hit it thin enough that my cue ball has a chance to come over here and scratch or die and not have a shot. So I'm making sure that I cut this thin enough, and I might even have some inside English on this to make sure I cut it thin enough to hit that 11 ball full. Oh, and wow, I came off the side of it. Okay, so I must have, I think I shot with a below center so that my cue ball would carry him off and come over there. Forgot about that. That's a better play because it's less questionable. You know, from up table, you're more likely to get a shot when you don't know where the balls are going than you are if you let the cue ball go down table. So anyway, hey, look at this. How many balls are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 balls left. I've shot 8 balls, and just now do I finally have a rack that's kind of open. But still, you know, I have a shot on these 3 open balls, but these 2 are a little bit tied up, and these 2 are definitely tied up. So I still, no rack analysis. I'm not picking out a break ball. The balls aren't even open yet, and there's only 7 left. Sometimes that's what's going to happen. So what I'd look at, I don't want to try and get fancy. I don't want to try and play position for another ball to play another break shot. I don't know if the 12 ball goes over here. So I'm going to do it now. I think that I can shoot this ball in the corner and come across the top of the 14. Obviously, I don't want to hit the bottom of it. That sends me into no man's land. But if I can hit the top, and I'm not going to hit it hard, the cue ball can go this way and hit the 9, or it can stop there or something. And I think I'm going to have open balls to choose from. So for the 9th time this rack, let's try and open the balls. And of course I don't get there. Oh man, look, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. 10 shots and I still don't have the balls open, or 9 shots. So now, you see what I just looked at? Once again, I can't set up for another ball. Like for example, I might shoot this ball in the side and try to play position for something else to open these balls. There's no time. I'm out of options. And so I just looked at the angle from here to open those balls. So I'm going to cut this ball, and I don't know, remember, I think I might have to get the bridge for this. Yeah, I have to get the bridge. And once again, what you don't want to do is hit the bottom of these balls. You can scratch, You can go to this rail and end up in no man's land. I want to try and hit it full, hit this 10 ball full or the top of it, but I don't want to hit it hard. I don't want my cue ball to go all the way up table or scratching the side. So I get the bridge. Yeah, I look at it and decide, yeah, I'm 6'5", but I still need the bridge for this shot. If I want any accuracy with my Q-tip placement, I'm going to have to get the bridge. Now, I know from experience that we often understroke the ball when we're using the bridge because we end up with the Q-tip farther from the cue ball than it looks like it really is. So I know that, so I'm trying to compensate. And I compensate too much and hit the bottom of the 14. So this has been a real adventure. But now there's 5 balls left, and finally I've got all the balls open, and not only that, I hope you see it, I've got an end pattern. Here's a break ball. I can shoot this ball now. A stop shot there gets me on this ball. Then I can play position for this one to try and get on the 7 in the side, most likely. And that's a good end pattern, finally. So I go take a look. Don't get in a hurry this is a long shot, and you can miss-hit this and bobble the ball. So I went, when you go and take a look at the angle you're going to get on the 9, it gives you a chance to calm down and settle yourself and say, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to make this shot. And I spear this one in nicely because I knew that this was going to be okay. I didn't have to just do this with the cue ball. Now I have a slight angle. My cue ball is going to hit the stripe, but just center ball, softly roll this. There's no way to not get a shot on that 10. Just like that. And this is perfect. And I go take a look at the angle right there. Okay. So this is the shot line to the 7. Somewhere right here. So you don't want to hit the rail there. You want to hit the rail below that. And I want to do better than that. I'm going to follow almost straight through the 10. I'm going to hit real low on the rail and with a bunch of right English to spin up. That gets my cue ball in the open, away from the rail, and I'm very likely to have a real good shot on the 7. If I'm not dead straight in, I'll be able to just tap the 7 in and float up here, or shoot the 7 in and go to the rail and out like this to get on my break shot. So this is ideal, finally. And kind of hard to mess up. But I like going at it this way. Rather than trying to stun the cue ball and try and get the angle right, just go straight to the rail with a lot of spin. Look at the spin on that cue ball. That's how you're going to get good on that 7. And as it turns out, I'm dead straight, so I'm looking at the angle, and I know I say that you should stun this, but I'm not in the mood. I'm going to tap it in and let it roll forward. Chicken. But from there you can't mess it up. That's a great angle. And so I'm going to rack the balls, and a friend comes over and talks to me. So I have a little 5 or 10 minute conversation, and I'm going to skip ahead. There he is. And so that's some fortitude. Have a nice long conversation, and then try to continue your run. There we go. Now I'm going to continue my run. I'm only on like the 2nd or 3rd rack anyway. This is, it looks like a high ball. Pretty much a parallel angle, but I think the cue ball is going to go to the bottom. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good shot. Bounce off the rack and then curve forward. That's a real good. Now you notice too that I hit that softer than I do historically. Usually, in the past, just in the last month or 2, I would have wanted to hit that break shot a lot harder, but you don't need to. I had a real good angle, and that's all the force you need to open these balls. There's only 5 balls in the rack area. Great break shot. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that rack of the week. We're getting close to 100. I'm trying to think of something special to do for 100. Leave me a comment if you have any ideas. And once again, thank you to my patrons. Go over to patreon.com, check it out. Join the club, and you can, or if you don't want to do that, you can kind of get the same thing with YouTube membership. So hit the join button here on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week on Rack of the Week.